It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, everybody. Ernie Johnson here. Shaq's here. Kenny's here. Welcome to this edition of 2K Sports. Tonight, it'll be the Dallas Mavericks up against the New Orleans Pelicans. Well, for New Orleans, 5-5 over their last 10 games, but they're not satisfied with 500 ball. Looking to tack one onto the win tally tonight. And tonight, two offenses that like to score in the post. Shaq, defensively, how do you counteract that?
Two types of denying. Deny the position and deny the entry pass.
Yes.
Sounds like you're in a state of denial.
I deny everything you just said.
Is it just me? I thought that was funny.
But you know what the other thing you could do, Shaq? If you pressure the passer, what it does is then it allows the defender to have more time to get around on the defensive and provide.
You're lucky I didn't guard you in your career.
Oh, I would have went right by you.
You're lucky.
I would have hoped you pressured me.
Let's go to Kevin Harlan. Time for the tip.
K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
Welcome and happy holidays from 2K Sports. It's time for NBA action. Joined in the booth with Greg Anthony and Brent Barry, this is Kevin Harlan. Our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. A contest in the West will see if the Dallas Mavericks can please their home crowd. Their last encounter was in New Orleans, where they were able to handle the Pelicans.
And in the last face-off against these guys, they enjoyed a huge advantage in free throw percentage.
And before we get going, let's hear from David Aldridge on the sideline. David?
Hey, Kev. Well, Rick Carlisle is a coaching graybeard. He's entering his second decade as coach of the Mavericks. He led them to the franchise's first and only title in 2011. Now, Eric Spoelstra lost that series to Carlisle, and he says of him, he's a Hall of Famer, a trailblazer as president of the Coaches Association. We all owe him a great deal. Kevin?
He is a legend. Thank you, D.A. Here at the midway point, what we begin to realize now, there were some underrated pickups in the offseason that are showing what they can do.
Yeah, these are the kind of moves where at the end of the year you start thinking about candidates for executive of the year because they've plugged some holes. They've had an acquisition that's made their bench deeper. And we start to see in an 82-game season that maybe in the 55th to 57th game, a pickup like that is helping them win ball games. This is where those guys earn their money, the general manager.
Not wholesale changes. Just one guy can change a team slightly, and that nuance pays off.
Oh, anything subtle like that, that's where really you tip your hat to the general managers who understood that at some point during the year, we're going to lean on this player.
Now let's take a look at the starters for New Orleans. Peyton and Holiday are together in the backcourt. Anthony Davis is out there with Miller, and it's Okafor in at the center.
Kind of a ticky-tack foul there, but you have to be aware that's how the refs are going to blow the whistle tonight.
Here's Cantor. Doncic kicks to Barnes. Shot clock at 6. The putback. Great positioning on the putback.
And it's not a secret. Cantor is a major factor on the offensive glass thanks to his size, strength, and excellent hands.
Now here's Peyton. Holiday finds Okafor. Holiday against Porzingis. It's Miller on the wing. Trying to find Davis. He's got it now. Takes a 3. Barea pulls it in. Well, it was the Dallas Mavericks winning their last game against the Trailblazers. Okafor with the steal. Peyton surveying the floor. Here in the first, a little over a minute played so far. Davis with the bucket.
That's a pretty good job of AD. Being patient, handling the pressure, so whether it's the post or facing up, he's going to do damage.
Now here's Barnes. 20 points for him last game against Portland. Porzingis against Davis. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. And we talk so much about the offense Porzingis gives you, Brent. How about the defensive side of his game?
Well, I think he's learning a little bit more about position and space. He moves his feet decently well for his size, but he's getting a better understanding of the guys in this league that he's seeing on a nightly basis. And, of course, we'll always talk about trying to gain more and more strength.
2 shots.
That free throw, no good. And for Porzingis, one of the next steps for him offensively, becoming a better distributor.
Well, he showed last year, the first couple months of the year, to be a prolific scorer, and defenses know that too. So now the idea is, what if we crowd Porzingis? What if we double team him? Can he make the next play to his teammate? We'll see if it starts to unlock itself this year for him.
And the second free throw, good.
Well, Porzingis in the early part of his career has had some phenomenal first halves of seasons, and the second half has faded. You really just want to see a complete year from Kristaps Porzingis where he can dominate.
Here's Davis, hits the outside fadeaway.
Nice way to start the evening. His numbers getting called, and for good reason.
This is also one of those things where you start to think about how you're going to change your defense already. If at all possible, make someone else beat you.
Here's Barnes, following the basket by Anthony Davis. 6 to shoot over Miller. Cantor trying to free himself up, and the shot is long. Last game in New Orleans, they picked up the win against the Kings in Sacramento.
Yeah, I mean, a surprising victory. Looking like they'd go away easily, but boy, did they come on strong in the fourth. Big-time momentum just carrying them all the way for the win. Exciting basketball.
Now, here's Doncic after the miss from Elfrid Payton. Count that one.
And showing he's got a few tricks up his sleeve there. Doncic's handles are very impressive.
Payton passes to Holiday. And here is Davis. Porzingis with the block. Barnes looking around. And here in the first, about 3 minutes in, Barea kicks to Porzingis. Here's Cantor. His second shot goes in, off to a good start, 2 for 2.
A reliable finisher who can score in a multitude of ways. Cantor is a tough cover down low.
Payton the bounce pass. Here's Davis. Back to Payton. Count the bucket, and he's got a free throw coming up as well.
If you're going in amongst the trees, you have got to be aggressive.
Well, he's also crafty with how he approaches it. Right there, he uses just the right move to lay it in.
Free throw off from Payton.
Well, many people had some high expectations for Elfrid Payton when he was drafted 10th in 2014. His offensive game has come along nicely. He sees the floor. He scores on the inside. I don't think he'll ever be a perimeter threat. And defensively, he could be a little bit more active.
And so it's New Orleans with it, following the score by Dallas. And now Barea running the floor all by himself. And yes, it's good.
Well, that's why they're in front. Aggressive play at both ends. Nicely done.
And Brent, as you mentioned, as good as Payton has made himself with the ball in his hands, his defense is holding him back.
Yeah, and some of those areas of weakness are easily addressed. You just can't get yourself out of position by overthinking possessions or gambling too much. It's just not a good way to go. So as much as you're the lead guard with the ball, sometimes defensively as a lead guard you can set the tone for a defensive possession. Payton needs to learn that. Bucket earned, out-muscling and out-hustling everybody for the rebound.
Barea with it. Now Payton defending. Barea kicks to Cantor. Passes it to Barnes. Sinks the three-pointer. Barnes has got his first 3 points of the game.
And their offense already in a flow. Some stellar shooting to jump out to this lead.
Miller outside. Pass to Davis. Out to Payton. Fires from deep. Shot clock reset for New Orleans. And it's Davis finishing it off.
Yeah, you think you have AD rooted out, but he can use his length and use his size and get another rebound.
Barea finds Porzingis. And the call will be against Darius Miller. That's his first foul. Now, here's Doncic. He's guarded closely. And here's Miller. 11 points for him in that last game against the Kings in Sacramento.
Well, I think he was especially impressive on the glass. The defense had no idea what to do with him.
Miller against Barnes. And Okafor with the block.
And right now, I think just his demeanor is hurting the team. His shooting's been off, and he knows it.
That doesn't go either for Davis.
You got to be a little bit questioning of the defense because I'm sure they feel foolish for giving that guy that look, but they survived it.
Dallas again missing.
Yeah, this is a terrible start for him, and it has to be weighing on him.
Barea against Payton. The feed to Okafor. Makes it off the glass.
Yeah, another nice bucket down low. They've really been able to work the ball into the post effectively here so far.
Now here's Barea. A 23-point game for him in the win against Portland.
You could see some miscommunication on the defensive end of the floor that time. No excuse for letting a player get that good a look on that possession.
Here's Payton. It's a 5-point game. He dishes it to Davis. There's Miller with the three. That's in there. Davis with the assist. Miller's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Barea the pass to Cantor. Porzingis at the elbow. A floater. Outside for Barea. Outside, Porzingis. Another three for Dallas.
Well, that's a patented move, I think, for Porzingis. Excellent with the catch and shoot.
And first time out of the game called for New Orleans.
Well, Pelicans a much better team last year than they've been in the past. Still have some areas to address before maybe they become a home court advantage team or a top 4 seed. But the number one thing is they've got to get some more consistency in their outside game.
And some changes here for the Mavericks. Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for Cantor. Dwight Powell comes in for Porzingis. And it's Lee in for Barnes. A big group substitution here for New Orleans. Randall's checked in for Okafor. Iritic comes in for Davis. Solomon Hill, he's checked in for Miller. And it's Etuan Moore checking in for Elfrid Payton. Dallas leading by 5. Well, the three is king right now, and spacing can be a problem for the Pelicans.
Well, the team knows they only have a handful of dead-eye shooters. They were in the bottom third for threes taken last year. They play to their strengths, which is a good thing, but in order for them to take the next step, it's got to be some dynamic play from the perimeter.
Here's Iritic. The Mavericks making the shot, and that's a foul. Called on Dwight Powell. That's his first foul. Clark, he's checked in for Drew Holiday. Outside Hill. Unloads. And Lee pulls it down.
Yeah, the defense cannot afford to be that lazy. You got to be up on the shooters at all times, especially at the mid-range.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
Here's Clark. Outside Iritic. Moore outside. 5 to shoot. To halt the run. Here's Randall. And that's good. A nice job in the glass as they pick up 2 on the second effort.
And they've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball in the paint.
Berea surveying the floor. The offensive rebound. Doncic. Off target at the rim.
Well, the D did their job there. Excellent contest to alter the close ranger.
To the paint. Here's Randall. Doncic with the steal. And they're running. Foul. That's good. And the Mavericks lead by 9.
Just a great attack mentality. Got right through the defense to finish strong inside.
Here's Clark. Still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring yet from him. Kicks to Randall. Drops in the layup for 2.
Man, he's shooting the ball very well, in addition to creating for both himself and his teammates out there on a roll.
Berea with it. He has 6. To the middle. It's tipped. And the jam by Dirk Nowitzki.
Love when Nowitzki finishes with the dunk, showing some outstanding lift on that one.
Clark kicks to Mirotic. 1:33 left in the first. Randall down low, defended by Nowitzki. Randall no good. Mavericks leading by 9. To the right side. Doncic with it. Hill's there. And Doncic gets it to go. Doncic has got his second bucket.
Yeah, pounding it inside once again. They have taken over this game physically.
Well, it's so nice to have the early lead. This is where you want to stick with what's working until somebody shuts you down.
Now here's Moore. He provides a good amount of offense for the team, averaging around 11.5 points a game. Measury, he's checked in for Dirk Nowitzki. And Moore kicks to Clark. Shot clock at 6. From deep three-point range, but they recover it. Fade away, and he gets it to go, hitting off the back of the rim. Mirotic has got his first points in this one.
Got to watch out defensively for the mid-range game of Mirotic. That shot looked automatic.
Lee outside. 24 seconds left to play in the first. And the basket good by Measury.
And it's coming easy for them right now. 5 baskets in a row in the paint.
Pelicans trail by 11. Here's Clark. Still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring yet from him. He kicks it to Randall. Shoots over Measury, and no luck with that time on the buzzer beater. And so it's the Dallas Mavericks. Their lead at 11 points to end the quarter. A terrific tempo and a great pace. The fast break has been a central part of their offense. And we'll be back with you shortly. Kristaps Porzingis grew up in faraway Latvia, but thanks to his brother, developed a passion for the NBA.
My older brother, he was a big fan of NBA always, and he always had pictures of Michael and then Kobe and Shaq, and then we both started watching a lot of NBA highlights. And then later on, 13, 14, Kobe and Powell, I used to watch those guys play a lot.
And Greg, that's something different now for foreign players, isn't it? A lot more exposure to the NBA.
And KP, a fan of the culture. You saw him in cornrows as a kid. I think that helped prepare him for the transition.
And glad to have you with us, folks. Second quarter of basketball. This game has not exactly been neck and neck, but plenty of time left in this one. And quite a position here for the Mavericks to be in. What do you think, guys?
The chemistry through the roof, and it's allowed them to build this huge lead after one.
All parts are working together, even the guys who have not put the points on the board making their subtle contributions.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. So for New Orleans right now, on the perimeter, Moore and Hill. Julius Randle is out there with Mirotic, and it's Clark in at the point guard. Pelicans on D. 8-point game. Now Barea, just 5 on the clock. Dallas needs to get off a shot. It's rebounded by New Orleans.
Alvin Gentry, one of the best offensive minds and coaches in this league. Remember, just in the recent past about his time in Phoenix and then in Golden State, now as the head coach of the Pelicans, and he's done a great job just speeding up this team, pushing the ball, and trying to find ways to put up points.
And there's the call on Measure. That is his first foul of the game. And so it's New Orleans with it. They haven't allowed any points in the second quarter. Shot clock at 6. Here's Hill. Somehow ignores the tight D and gets the layup. Hill's got 5 points in the quarter. And for the Pelicans, it took some time before they could implement Gentry's vision.
Well, now it's in place. It felt like a long time to get there, and he ended up making the playoffs and pushing it to the second round. And Alvin Gentry's a big reason why the Pelicans are one of the most exciting teams right now to watch in the NBA.
Measure misses. And so Hill bring it up for New Orleans. They trail by 6. There's the pass to Clark. Here's the 3. He can't get that one to fall. Now Dallas takes it the other way. They've led by as many as 11 points. Fresh from a win against Portland.
You know, sometimes you're going to win because of your performance, and on occasions, which was the case for them, it's the play of your opponent that allows you to escape with wins.
Yeah, they were up against a team that struggled all night to get things under control. Mistakes and turnovers and just sloppy play all game long.
Hill, no good. Mavericks leading by 6. On the wing, Lee. No points in the game yet for him. They need this one. The shot's good.
Courtney Lee staying calm right there under some pressure and a capable scorer.
Timeout called here. The Pelicans decide to talk it over. One of my favorite moves is the Euro step. I know it's one of yours as well. There are a lot of guys that can do it well.
Well, I got to see Manu Ginobili step around me for years in San Antonio. But I think James Harden is still the most devastating Euro step player we have in the game. There's something about the lefties, isn't there, Kevin? We have a hard time figuring
they
a
throw
lefty
you off.
out.
They throw you off automatically just by the left hand.
Right.
Then they add the little sidestep.
And James Harden with the shiftiness and the way he moves the ball around and draws contact. I know there are a lot of people that get aggravated by that, but he's nearly impossible to stop, especially when he's got his passport with the Euro step.
He slithers.
And a few more points tacked on to their lead in the cruelest way possible.
You're right. Those putback jams sting, don't they? My goodness.
And that is a statement. We're going to keep coming at you hard, even if we've got the lead.
One shot, gentlemen.
Pelicans trail by 11. Payton finds Okafor. Fades back. And the rebound goes to the Mavericks. Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. Barnes passes to Porzingis. And the layup's good off the glass. Porzingis has got his third basket of the night right there.
Another bucket down low. They've been the aggressors, taking the ball inside and attacking at the rim.
Now here is Davis. A 26-point game for him in the win against Sacramento.
It felt like in that game, too, he was a man on a mission defensively. Finishing up with 4 steals is an impressive feat. And you can tell, takes pride in that part of the game. He's having a night right now. Credit to the shooting touch, helping his team with the lead.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Now a timeout called by New Orleans.
And one thing they'll discuss are the defensive rotations. The other is in the matchups.
We're seeing very little help defense on the inside, and even when there is help, it's been ineffective.
And we have a moment to take a look at the best three-point shooting teams in the NBA. Fifth, the Mavericks.
No doubt they have snipers on that roster, that's for sure. It's been a terrific year for them from beyond the arc.
To the inside. Out to Payton. New Orleans moving it around. On the wing, Davis. Guarded by Porzingis. The kick out to Holiday. Clock at 4. To end the run. And the Pelicans miss again.
Yeah, momentum right now is against them. They're just going to have to figure out a way to ride this one out.
Got to be some consideration here for a different rotation because the matchups right now just not favorable.
Pelicans trail by 18. Payton left side. Okafor finds Holiday. Over Porzingis. And again, New Orleans has no luck. Dallas leading by 18. Inside, here's Barea. Terrific assist, a nice finish. Solid play all around.
The tenacity, the attention to detail, it's why these guys are in complete control.
It seems like they've been at it on both ends tonight. Tremendous all-around play from them. Has them up quite a bit here.
Now, here is Miller. Back to Payton. Lets the 3 fly. Barnes grabs the miss. Payton against Barea. To the wing on the left. Taken away by Holiday. Pass to Davis. Dishes it to Payton. Out of bounds. It'll be Mavericks ball.
And a chance here to look at the numbers for Anthony Davis. 4th in rebounding, 5th in blocks, and also his field goal percentage is up in the top 5. Tremendously efficient at finishing plays at the basket.
And he's so explosive, so hungry. You really can't keep him off the glass when he wants to get there. That's why he's top 5 in rebounding. Now here's Porzingis. They lead by 20. It's the most we've seen.
Now you could just tell in his gait and in the look on his face, he's in a great rhythm after a terrific first quarter. He is feeling it here in the second.
Payton kicks to Miller. Back to Payton. That's in, coming off an assist from Miller.
And boy, what a much-needed bucket there. Ends a 16-0 run by Dallas.
Barea with it. Now Payton defending. Lee outside. Jacks up a 3. He doesn't hit that one. And New Orleans will come the other way.
And with Anthony Davis, you look at how young he is still. I mean, scary to think that his best games are still ahead of him. Not just this year, talking like 3 or 4 years from now. He could honestly be the best player in the league in a short time.
Okafor with the steal. Now here's Payton. 11-point game his last outing. Outside Holiday. The three-pointer no good. And it's Barea with the ball. He'll bring it up for the Dallas Mavericks. And with Davis's prime just ahead of him, just what do you think his ceiling might be, Brent?
I don't know. 28 and 11 the last few years. His upside seems to be nightmarish for any opposing coach. I wouldn't be surprised to see him have multiple years of 30-plus with 12 or 14 rebounds. There's simply nothing on the court that AD cannot do.
Shot clock at 3. Outside Holiday. Bangs home the trifecta. Holiday's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball.
That three-point shot is a staple of Drew Holiday's offensive repertoire. He is always a threat to score from there.
Porzingis inside. Davis is there. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Davis. And that'll be his third foul so far. And some changes here for the Mavericks. Cantor comes in for measure. And it's Nowitzki in for Porzingis. Here's Cantor. It doesn't go for him. Excellent D there from Okafor. Feeds it to Holiday. And the layup's good off the glass. Holiday's got 5 points now this quarter.
Now Holiday looking comfortable there when he gets in close.
Barea against Payton. Got a piece of it, and that's out of bounds. Dallas will retain possession. Doncic is checked in for the Mavericks. Lee with the ball, and it's Miller picking him up. Lee passes to Cantor over Okafor. Dallas no good that time either.
That's a great effort on defense. He definitely rushed his shot a little bit down low.
And Drew Holiday, the bucket on the assist from Payton. And it's 8 points for Drew Holiday.
Well, you risk getting torched when somebody's open. Payton's skilled enough to find the open man.
And the foul called on Anthony Davis. That's his fourth foul of the contest. Some changes for New Orleans. Rando comes in for Okafor, and Mirotic subbed in for Miller. Here's Barnes, and that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. Julius Randle picks one up.
And though some were skeptical of the contract Harrison Barnes signed, he's lived up to it. Not an elite player yet, but is emerging on a franchise caliber level and continues to improve and is strong and consistent really on both ends of the floor.
Shooting 2.
First free throw is good. And Greg with Barnes, beyond what he does on the floor, he does everything right off the floor.
Yeah, I mean, this organization just loves his intangibles and demeanor as a leader. Incredible work ethic that allows him to keep refining his game. Still very young and is growing into the player this team hoped he'd be.
Barnes hits them both. Pelicans trail by 17. And Moore kicks to Holiday. Outside Mirotic. Down low. Gets to the rim for 2 with the D all over him.
They are just killing him on the interior.
Now, here's Doncic. Tight defense on him. Again, the miss by the Mavericks.
This is when you're just surprised that a guy would miss that kind of look. The defense really did not do a lot there.
Hill finds Holiday. Now, here is Mirotic. Defended by Nowitzki. Chalk up 2 there.
This is an encouraging thing for the coaching staff to see Mirotic show a little bit more toughness on these challenging finishes.
Lee passes to Barnes. Here's Nowitzki. He's guarded by Hill. The drive by Nowitzki. And now the fast break. Hill with the ball. Barnes grabs the miss. Barnes has got his 4th rebound in this one. Holiday against Lee. Now here's Barnes. Defense is right there.
And boy, did he ever sell the pump fake. Worked to absolute perfection.
Moore against Lee. And Mirotic has it in the corner. And a miss there on the triple. Mavericks leading by 15. Doncic kicks to Lee. And Lee with the stuff.
How about Courtney Lee getting up there all the way to the rim?
Well, for New Orleans, shooting around 41% on the night. Passes to Holiday. Outside Mirotic. Back to Holiday. Corner shot. It's rebounded by Dallas. Lee's got 6 rebounds now in the game. Down low, here's Doncic. Goes to the reverse layup and drops it in. Doncic has got 6 points.
And certainly not lacking in confidence. When Doncic gets these inside looks, he just jumps all over.
Outside Holiday. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Luka Doncic. That is his first foul of the game. Mavericks making a switch here. Fouls checked in. .32 seconds left to play in the first half. Holiday looking over the floor. Outside Hill. 4 on the clock. From deep, Moore. It's rebounded by Doncic.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
It's good on the putback. He's got 6.
Love the determination he showed there, getting himself into good position under the glass.
With the presence of mind to know just where the rebound was going to come down. Well timed. And so it's the Dallas Mavericks taking a 19-point lead into the break. And it's been their rugged defense setting the tone. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks, Kevin. Well, Harrison, shots definitely falling in the first half. How did you guys get it going?
Just us playing off each other, trying to get to the basket, trying to work it around. When this balance scoring like we have tonight, everyone tries to feed off each other.
Strength in numbers, right? Thanks, Harrison. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half momentarily.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to 2K Sports, the halftime show. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. Boy, we have a lot to discuss. Dallas has the edge here at halftime. They are dominating the scoring, leading by 19. Kenny?
There's been one thing that's made a difference in this game above all else: their control of the backboard. They put forth an amazing effort on the glass, and the rebounding numbers aren't even close, Ernie. That'll be something to keep an eye on in the second half. They will be very tough to contain if that continues.
And over to the big fella, your thoughts on the Pelicans.
They relied way too heavily on three-point shot in the first half. Their long-range game was off. That's my off sound, Ernie. They were off. But they still settle for the outside shots. They got to put more pressure on the defense by pounding it inside and attacking the basket.
Thanks for joining us, folks. We're now just a few minutes away from the start of the third quarter.
The skyline of Dallas illuminating the night sky as we welcome you back to the Lone Star State. And as we dive into the second half, we'll find out if the next 2 quarters are any different from the first 2. So far, it has been a runaway. You have to like what we're seeing from J.J. Barea.
Yeah, on the cut, off the dribble, he is a factor, and we saw that in the first half.
Coaches talk about having slashers on the team, and this is what they do. They get into the heart of the defense. They force difficult rotations. He's been tough to contain.
And after a very lopsided first half, we'll see if things play out a little more evenly here in the second. And here's Holiday, who will bring it up for the New Orleans Pelicans. 19-point game. On the wings, it's Doncic and Barnes. Porzingis is out there with Enes Kanter, and it's Barea in at the 1 spot. So that's who Rick Carlisle starts the second half with. 6 on the shot clock. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. Over the last decade or so, a huge transformation, Brent, in the way games are played. Do you see any additional changes on the horizon?
I wonder if the league will think about, and I think it'd be interesting if they had a three-point line that just disintegrated into the sideline. We have the split, we have the archway, right? We'll go down the sidelines. It'd be really interesting if the league, maybe in Summer League, experimented with the three-point line being equidistant the whole way around.
And going right out of bounds.
Yeah, so right out of bounds, it eliminates the corner three. It would impact the way you would defend the corner shot, because now it doesn't have a value of 3. 1 point more for a shorter shot seems to be a little unfair as it is, and we know it's the most valuable shot in basketball.
There's no doubt.
But I wonder how that would look, and maybe Adam Silver and the committee will look at a Summer League where the three-point line just disappears in the sideline, eliminating the corner three.
Now here's Porzingis. Back to Barea. Now here's Doncic, guarded by Holiday. And Doncic gets it to go.
And he's capable of scoring from anywhere, really. Doncic has a strong grasp here of the mid-range.
Payton kicks to Davis. Back to Payton. From 12 feet out. That's short off the rim.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Inside. The alley-oop layup. Very well done. And the Mavericks lead by 21.
And we're going to see a rotation now defensively of guys going at Porzingis, because nobody can stop him. You're going to go small, you're going to go big. Either way, he's winning the battle.
And it's Okafor missing.
And being that close to the hoop, I thought he had enough room to finish that one.
Barnes against Miller. And it's Dallas with another.
And since they've come out of halftime, they've been extremely poised and very efficient.
Yeah, I think they have been winning the battle of shot selection here in the second half, and that's led to an excellent shooting percentage from the field.
Here's Holiday. Harrison Barnes picking up that last basket. Miller finds Davis. Here's Holiday. Okafor trying to get open. Bank shot, no good.
And they start the second half with 3 straight misses.
Here's Doncic. It's good. Great play set up by Barea. Barea's got 5 assists tonight.
And it's been about that execution offensively. I mean, they have been superb.
Yeah, they're just absolutely getting anything and everything that they want out there. They have not let up.
Now here's Payton. He has 6. That one good for 2. Payton's got his 3rd bucket of the night.
Finally, they get one to drop. That's one of their first 4 here in the 3rd.
Inside, here's Barnes. Miller grabs the miss. Miller's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight.
But only the first miss of the second half. They've come out here with authority.
A good finish at the rack off the slick feed. Miller's got 5 now.
Now Payton's very good at getting the ball to his guys, and he makes a good decision there.
Porzingis passes to Barnes. And Porzingis, here we go. It falls for the 6th time in 7 tries this contest. That's 86%. Now a timeout called by New Orleans. It's been quite a game for Porzingis.
So far, he is just destroying their will. It feels like he can get any shot he wants once he crosses half court.
And the Pelicans making a change here. Clark's checked in.
Take a look here at the numbers for Porzingis. Just an incredible month of basketball. 9th in 3-point field goal percentage, and he's in the top 10 in field goal percentage. Really able to power his way to the bucket and finish through contact.
And back to his efficiency from 3, as you said, he's top 10 in the league. Defenses are now trying to deny him the basketball, but really to no avail.
And you can tell that Doncic loves leaking out. They're able to get to the right spot there in transition.
Payton kicks to Miller. Pass to Davis. Looking to get it going. And he blocked it and deflects off the backboard.
It's just been an off night for him. That doesn't happen all that often, but the thing that you do at this point is not to push it, not to rush it. Let it come back to you.
Oh, great move to get to the rack there against the guy who doesn't really just have the strength to be able to keep him away from the rim.
Here's Payton. Harrison Barnes picking up that last basket. Payton kicks to Clark. That's tipped. Here's Doncic, and the dunk by Doncic.
And it just seems when Doncic turns it on, it's a sight to see. Incredible at scoring in a variety of ways.
Now here is Miller. 5 points in the game. To stop the run, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. Adam Silver has said there's probably more basketball being watched and played, Brent, in China than anywhere else in the world. How long before you think we see our next Chinese superstar in this league?
That's going to be interesting when that does happen. Obviously, the type of mark that Yao Ming made in the NBA, it's going to be hard for anybody to match the kind of impact, not just in the game, but what he did globally for the NBA. It just won't happen again. But I'm looking forward to, not just the next Chinese player, but a Japanese player, somebody from India where they love the NBA game, to start to find their way onto rosters in the league.
They're coming. I mean, there's going to be someone before long.
No doubt.
Measury, he's checked in for Dallas. Both free throws good for Miller. And so it's Dallas with him. And here's Barea. He's got 13. Porzingis is double. Back to Barea. Payton with some nice D.
And that's just good offense. Surprised he blew that one, and the defense is too.
To the middle. It's deflected. It's stolen by Barea. Here's Barnes. And that's a foul called on Porzingis. That's foul number 2 for him.
That's his second personal foul.
And it's Davis with the ball for the New Orleans Pelicans. Here's Payton. Sweet little floater. Payton's got 6 in the quarter.
It was soft with the floater there. Payton gets to the inside, and that shot had a nice feel to it.
Barea finds Mesri. Now here's Porzingis. Right through the D for the layup. Porzingis has got 17 now.
Yeah, Porzingis read that extremely well. He recognized right away he was going to get that shot.
Poked away. It's stolen by Barea. That's good again. His 7th basket. 7 for 10 from the floor.
And it's about the tempo, guys. It favors them. And just look at that score.
Yeah, I'm a little bit exhausted here trying to keep up with these guys, and I'm just watching. Yeah, they always attempt to wear you out.
Now here's Payton. He's got 10. Davis dishes to Payton. Shot clock at 5. High arcing shot. It's tipped, and he gets it back. And the shot clock expires. 24-second violation. Dwight Powell's checked in for Porzingis. The Pelicans also changing it up. Randall's checked in for Okafor. Mirotic comes in for Miller. And it's Etuan Moore checking in for Payton. Dallas has gone 6 of 7 from long range tonight. They've been on fire from way outside. Doncic with it. 15 points in the game. And that one's good. Barnes. 16 points for him.
The plan of attack is obvious. Get the ball inside and go strong to the rim.
Clark, the pass to Randall. Powell with the steal. And even 3-on-3 break. No one near Doncic as he lets it fly. That 3 off the mark. Well, for New Orleans, shooting pretty terrible here in the third quarter at around 30%. Randall with the bucket.
And he can time his passes so perfectly. Wow, what an assist.
Now the Mavericks with it. They're on a 15-6 run. Mejri kicks to Barnes. Lays it up and banks it in. Barnes has got 18 points.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They keep getting it in the paint and continue to score consistently.
Bounce pass, Davis. Barea against Moore. 6 to shoot. Here's Mirotic. Nailed from three-point land.
Well, if you give Mirotic some room out there, he's going to take advantage, really looking to shoot the three ball.
Barea finds Barnes. Davis with the double team. And the ball's tied up, so we'll have a jump ball. And so here is New Orleans. The Pelicans have gone 5 of 12 from the field since the third quarter got underway. The dish to Mirotic. Back to Davis. Some nice passing here by New Orleans. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. And E'Twaun Moore has always been a solid shooter in the NBA, Greg, and he's continued to grow in that department.
I mean, just look at the career numbers from deep in terms of efficiency. In the last few years, he started to take on more and more volume in terms of the three-point shot. Hasn't changed his percentages, though, at all. And I would give him the green light as much as he wants from beyond.
That's good from Moore.
Well, effective ways that E'Twaun Moore can score. He's had some very good shooting years, and is going to find his way to the free throw line here.
Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for the Mavericks. Lee comes in for J.J. Barea. And New Orleans also making a change. Hill, he's checked in for Davis. And so Moore nails both of them. E'Twaun Moore is someone, Brent, who bounced around early in his career but has still found a way to be a big contributor.
Yeah, and I think that the fit for E'Twaun Moore, having AD, he can kind of stay in the background and get shots off where he's open, his feet are set, and you can see that trend in his field goal percentage that's coming into the league. Last year had a phenomenal year shooting the ball.
Now here is Mirotic after Luka Doncic's miss. Lee outside. Barnes outside. Dallas again missing.
Yeah, the defense there in chill mode. We all know he can burn them from three-point range.
Randall. And Randall throws it down.
Oh, Kevin, not a petty, not a Manny, but a facial.
Oh, a bounce to the ounce, Greg? Yeah, showing off the bunnies. Now here's Lee. 7 points in the game. Barnes outside. Shakes off the strong D and gets to the bucket for 2. Barnes has got 10 points in the quarter. For New Orleans, they've gone at a pretty good shooting pace. They're 6 of 13 from the field here in the third. Clark for 3. The shot, no good. Now Dallas takes it the other way. To the paint, it's stolen by Randall. That one goes. Count it. Randall's got 12 in the game. Dallas has gone 1 of 3 from downtown since halftime. Here's Lee. He puts up decent numbers on a nightly basis, averaging about 10 points a game. And that one's good. Barnes.
Yeah, you would think a coach might have talked to his defense about making the adjustment on him, but right now, he's just lighting him up.
Here's Clark. He's been patient so far, nothing on the scoreboard yet. Count the basket.
And his teammates have to step up just a little bit more. He's been lights out, needs a bit more support.
Lee dishes to Barnes. Powell, the pass to Barnes. Excellent D there from Mirotic. And so it's Hill with it. He brings it up for New Orleans. And that's a foul called on Dwight Powell. That'll be his second foul of the game. Devin Harris has checked in for the Mavericks. And the Pelicans also making a change. Drew Holiday, he's checked in for Ian Clark. There's 53 seconds left in the third. Randall kicks to Holiday. Randall dishes to Hill. To the inside. Holiday gets the bucket.
Well, nice work from Drew Holiday to get close, but it was his length that allowed him to get that shot over the D.
Dallas has gone into the three-point range 4 times since halftime and buried 2 of them. Harris finds Lee from 18 feet away, and he sinks that one, hitting the back of the rim on the way in. Well, for New Orleans, shooting from the field, 44%, not bad. To the inside, here's Mirotic. Powell with the steal. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Now the pass to Harris. Clock at 6. Nowitzki inside. Over Randall. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. The Mavericks shooting their 6th and 7th free throw attempts tonight. The first free throw is good, so both teams changing it up here. Both free throws good from Nowitzki. Harrison Barnes getting it done for Dallas. He put together quite a quarter, 13 points in all. And he looks to be planning for more. Back right after this. While we have the chance now, folks, let's go to our State Farm assist of the game.
And the definition of teamwork right there, guys. I mean, what great communication between them, and what a beautiful feed.
The coaches talk about it all the time, but to be able to play with that kind of feel, nice play, collaborating, improvising, and organic.
And we reach the 4th quarter in a game that may be already out of hand. So the Pelican 5 right now. We've got Nikola Mirotic. Ejuan Moore is out there with Jackson. Then it's Williams. And it's Diallo in at the 5, roaming the paint. Now here's Nowitzki over Williams. Nowitzki's shot is no good.
And that was an easy one there, just a missed opportunity.
Yeah, sometimes everything can go right, but the shot doesn't go down. Nothing there is automatic.
Now flying high and throwing it down with the one-hander.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys. And so it's Dallas with it. Following the score by New Orleans. Lee goes in. That one is good. He's only missed 1 shot of his 6 taken on the floor.
I like Lee's decision-making there. Know when to shoot and when to slash.
Moore outside. Outside Mirotic. Hits it from 3-point range.
Just look at what a sniper he is from long range. He's got such an unusual skill for a big fella.
Lee with the ball. Guarded now by Jackson. Broke off. And off the left side of the rim, and it swirls in for him.
Lee does a great job of sticking with it and then finding a teammate.
Jackson passes to Williams, and out of bounds it is. Last touch by Mirotic. Final quarter of play, about 1.5 minutes off the clock into it. Lee kicks to Finney-Smith. Pass to Kleba. Lee against Jackson. Certain guys can play within themselves and still dominate. You played along one of the best that you saw up close in Tim Duncan.
Well, one of the things I think about with Tim is how many numbers he left on the board, Kevin. The way that Coach Popovich played him, minimal minutes, touches when needed most, where Tim usually came through, but how much more dominant he truly could have been.
And he didn't care about numbers, did he?
Not at all. He cared about one number, and that's putting W's on the board. But how many more things Tim Duncan would have led categorically in the history of the NBA at the power forward position, but overall, the numbers would have been staggering.
Absolutely fearless. I mean, a nice subtle adjustment there going up against length.
Yeah, this is the feel of a player to use his body to keep the shot from being blocked. Excellent work there.
One shot.
That's good from Jackson.
And they came out of the locker room after halftime with a much more physical approach than what we saw in that first half.
Now here's Lee. To the middle. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Broke off. And a miss there on the triple. And so it's Williams who brings it up for the New Orleans Pelicans. Mirotich's shot is off. Lee finds Nowitzki, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. You know what, Greg? There may not be a more likable superstar in the NBA than Dirk Nowitzki. I mean, everyone loves Nowitzki.
And a large part of that is just Dirk plays the game with a smile on his face, it seems, at all times. His play style is one that is hard to root against, having so much skill in the body of a 7-footer. And it's one thing to be respected by everybody. It's another to be loved by everyone in that regard. And he's one of a kind.
And the first one drops. One team owner proposed that we should abolish the draft and have free agency for rookies, maybe giving lesser teams a bigger pool of money to spend. Just some of the ideas that these teams are in the league is throwing out there.
Well, that's an interesting idea. The one that I heard about last summer was in Houston trying to flip-flop free agency and the draft so that all of a sudden what you can do is draft players after it is that you've made all your free agent acquisitions, so you could draft positionally. You know you're set up for your team next year. And the more I've thought about that, Kevin, coming into the season, the more I like it. So we'll see what kind of traction that gets.
Now Lee, following the three-point attempt by Nikola Mirotic. Here's Moore. And the Pelicans miss again.
I'm just wondering why the defense is laying off. Luckily, they didn't pay for their mistake.
Passes it to Kleba. Here's Lee outside. That one is good again. He's 6 for 8 from the floor with the basket.
Look, I checked the numbers, guys. We know he is great from out there. He made 1 in the first half. Now he has 1 so far in this half. Look out.
Now here's Williams. Ball's knocked loose. Fires for 3. Lee with another miss.
And you could tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Here's Mirotic. Kleba with the rebound. Mavericks have gone 4 of 8 in this fourth quarter, shooting at even 50% from the field. To the paint. Game is so wide open now, Brent. Such a great pace. Does that put more strain on bigger players physically?
I think it's putting strain on everybody. Yeah. I think last year we saw...
regardless of size.
Yeah, injuries to every position, to key guys at every position. I think that some of the physical motions that players have to perform in games because they're covering more ground and in susceptible positions, it's happening to everybody. The issue with the big guys, Kevin, is they're not playing. Less of them are getting more important time on the floor, so it's a strain on everybody.
New Orleans has gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. Williams kicks to Jackson. Pass to Williams. Shoots from the right block, and that one goes long.
And you got to give him credit there. Great effort to contest that shot.
Well, I love the fact that they put the security system on their house, protecting the paint there.
Brokoff. Yep, that one goes.
And where's the fight defensively? I mean, you know you need stops to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, down by double digits, failing to shut down the lane. It has been a rough night.
Now, here is Mirotic. The basket is good off the assist from Williams. Mirotic has got 5 points in the quarter. Lee kicks to Kleba. Takes it into the teeth of the D and converts the layup.
Solid distribution from Lee, reading the court well and getting the pass over.
The pass to Moore. Outside Mirotic. We hear a lot about small market teams being anxious about retaining their own star players. Is that overblown, or do you think there is reason for concern on their part?
Do we think that players are not going to get recognized if they play in a small market by the national media, if they're one of the best players?
Well, look at Oklahoma City, look at Milwaukee with Antetokounmpo. I mean, they're all getting recognized.
Yeah, I think these ideas have gone by the wayside for a lot of players, and they want the best opportunity for their playing and their best opportunity to shine, no matter where that is. So it's a bit of an archaic argument, in my opinion, Kevin, the way it is that we see guys nowadays, and take the small market thing out about it. There's one market, it's called the NBA. Well, the fact that he has that many rebounds for a guy of his size and stature shows you he truly cares about grabbing possessions off the rim.
Some nice passing here by Dallas. It's good from long range.
Failure to extend the defense, not going to get you back in this game.
Yeah, it's just a big mistake against a great shooter. It feels like they've just completely lost their focus.
Now here's Williams, and Maxi Kleba is going to pick up the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Dallas making a switch here. Mejri's checked in. New Orleans also making some changes. And Anthony Davis is checked in for Mirotic. And Ian Clark subbed in for Moore. And so here is New Orleans. Williams looking around. Shot clock at 6. A floater, and that's 2 points on the layup.
A terrific use of the floater, unguardable really, because you can't do anything defensively to stop it.
Kicks it to Lee. Did you ever think, Brent, that we'd see this many players, 6'10", 6'11", 7-footers, handling the ball and shooting like we're seeing them shoot from that kind of distance?
I'm hopeful for it. I've been hopeful for it, and it doesn't surprise me about what the league is. This is a very select group of people that have the right combination of DNA and genetics, and the fact that these guys are more and more capable with their skill set, not a surprise to me, Kevin.
So fun to watch, too. My goodness. Catching up on the changes for Dallas. Mike Powell comes in for Maxi Kleba, and Devin Harris is subbed in for Dorian Finney-Smith. Harris against Jackson. Knocked loose. It's stolen by Hill. Over in the corner, Williams. That's good, and it's Jackson with the assist that time. Williams has got 9 points now in just the second half. Now Harris. Brokoff. Another 3 for Dallas.
It's pretty simple. I figured it out. He can't miss. Adding to the lead with ease and capitalizing on every opportunity. He can't miss.
Now here's Jackson. Outside Williams. Knocks it loose. Brokoff. He's guarded by Williams. Harris against Jackson. 6 to shoot. Harris passes to Mejri, and Davis sends it back.
Love that D from Davis, rises up and swats that shot away.
Two shots, gentlemen. Two.
One thing I like about Adam Silver, he is always looking to break new ground, push the envelopes, and develop new areas of innovation.
Well, always forward thinking, and of course this league has always done that. Adam has found a new position in the league, having a chief innovation officer in place, somebody that's always examining not only how things are going in the league and maybe being adaptable to change, but examining what's going on worldwide. And you always see the way the league tinkers with and toys with Summer League and the way the G League competition sets up in order to try to find more ways to make the game more enjoyable or more accessible to the fan base.
Doncic is checked in for Courtney Lee. And Williams drops them both. Now here is Harris. He kicks it to Doncic. Floats one, and it's good on the layup. Doncic has got 11 in the second half.
And the level of concentration that Doncic has, even under pressure, this guy is cool as a cucumber. And at his height, you have to like what he gives you as a shooter.
Well, when he squares up from the medium range, there's little things you can do to stop him.
Now here is Harris. And Davis sends it back. They get it back, and it goes down 2 points. New Orleans has gotten off 4 3-pointers in the final quarter, and 2 of them have fallen. Outside Jackson, pass to Davis. Shoots over Mejri. It's rebounded by Dallas. Doncic has got 5 rebounds tonight. 1:39 left to play here in the fourth. Over to the left wing. Back to Harris. 6 on the shot clock. Beyond the arc. And the rebound goes to the Pelicans. Clark's got his 4th rebound in this one.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for Dallas.
This was a team performing to its fullest capability.
A hugely satisfying win. A game that not many will soon forget. And on the other side, one that I think most will try to forget.
And so this will mark the 15th win of the year for them.
And continued dominance against this team, winning both of their matchups this season.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for Porzingis.
I just loved his defense. He took pride in swatting away a bunch of shots tonight and made his impact felt.
And he knocks down the first one.
And Anthony Davis is just as complete a player on the offensive end as you're going to find. Great facing up, great mid-range, plays with the back to the basket. One of the things that is his best quality, Kevin, that does not get talked about much is just how devastating he is in transition. One of the game's greatest runners and finishers. And when you're playing with a point guard who will advance the ball, he becomes that much more dangerous. Not a perfect trip to the free throw line, but they'll take what they can get at this point.
Back to Harris. And they call the foul, so a chance at the line for one more coming up.
And they've earned this one, showing an ability to dominate in front of their home crowd.
Yeah, tick-tock and not much time on the clock left. Double-digit lead and coming up roses.
Shooting one.
And it's Jackson with the ball, bringing it up for New Orleans. Teardrop shot, and there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul, shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. And Dallas gets called for the foul.
Frank Jackson. Taking 2 shots.
Shooting 2.
And he makes the first. He's off on the second. This could get even more out of hand if they continue to put up points.
Wow, Kevin, what a performance we are seeing.
They get the rebound. Passes it to Finney-Smith. Kicks to Nowitzki. 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Dallas moving it around. Shot clock at 5. Harris inside the line. Offensive rebound. So no problem for Dallas as they get the win. They poured it on tonight. Dominant showing in front of a crowd that loved every minute of it.
And, you know, this game could really be a defining one for what they can do when they are playing at their best. I mean, being here at home no doubt helps, and the execution was flawless.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. KP, you guys got out on a break tonight. How did you get into transition so easily?
Yeah, we want to play faster, and that's what we try to do whenever they miss. We try to run, move the ball quick, and get easy buckets.
And you were able to beat him down the floor tonight, KP. Thanks a lot for your time. Kevin, back to you.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that'll do it, folks. So for David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, Brent Barry, and the whole 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for being with us. So long, everyone.